What's going on, YouTube? It's right here, Rep getting a new video. Last night was the WWE pay-per-view Elimination Chamber. Um, it was pretty good. I enjoyed it. I have written down the eliminations from the two matches, which were both really good. Well, actually, no, I take that back. The tag team one was really good. The Intercontinental one was but it wasn't really the match's fault. I believe that the crowd, like Corpus Christi, I've never even heard of that place. No offense to anyone who lives there if you watch this video. It's just like the crowd was just really crappy and really dead for like most of the things. Um First match of the night was the tag team elimination chamber match, which I thought was like the third best match of the night. Definitely enjoyed it. I just went through, like I said, the eliminations. The first team that got eliminated was the Los Matadores by the Ascension. The Ascension was actually really dominant in this match. I actually enjoyed that they were showcased more than the other teams for the most part. I'm glad that they actually got a chance for once because ever since the Ascension kind of got called up, they were crappy. Obviously no one liked them because Vince changed them, wearing the stupid shoulder gear and the face paint, all that crap. So they weren't like the Ascension from NXT. By the way, NXT dominated this whole freaking pay per view for the most part. The Ascension eliminated them. The Ascension also eliminated the Lucha Dragons, which was like pretty crazy. I didn't expect that. That's what made me think like, wow, they are they gonna win? But sadly they didn't. Primetime Players came out second to last. On the New Day, by the way, I forgot. I read this. The New Day was in a pod with all three of them. They were allowed to have all three of them in the pod because they talked to Kane, and Kane's allowed it. Blah 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 blah. Because they helped them on SmackDown to beat up everyone. But Primetime Players came out. I didn't write down the order when they came out, but the originals were it's neither here nor there. It was the Ascension and Lucha Dragons that were the first two teams out, and the other four were in the pods. But there was a crazy spot with Lucha Dragons. Kalisto climbed the top of he was like hanging upside down like Spider-Man. He like fell down and knocked everyone out. Pretty cool spot, I guess. But besides that, I mean, there was a lot of cool spots like that because there was a lot of high flyers, obviously, in this match. Like I said, Primetime Players eliminated the Ascension. The Primetime Players surprisingly eliminated Cesaro and Kid. That's what threw me off. So for the last two teams were the Primetime Players and New Day. The numbers game caught up to them. They were looking strong at one point because they relocked Xavier Woods into a pod, so it was a 2-on-2 for a while. Then Xavier eventually got out, and then eventually Primetime Players disposed of Darren Young, so it was 1-on-3 in a sense. And the numbers game caught up to him. He tried his best. A shout out to them for having Primetime Players being showcased highly as well. It was pretty entertaining, pretty good match, like I said. But eventually, New Day did retain. All right, next match was the Divas match, a triple threat match. Nikki, Naomi, and Paige. Nikki did retain. It was okay. It was okay Divas match for what it's worth. Paige took two nasty falls. Like I was like, damn. Like she took like this like revert. Like she like had Naomi up in like an electric chair. Naomi reversed it by doing instead of going forward like you usually do to like roll her up, she went backwards and like slammed Paige on her like neck. It was pretty brutal. She was pretty much out of the match after that for the most part. Nikki did, like I said, retain the belt. Next match was Kevin Owens versus John Cena, Champion vs. Champion. That was the match that stole the show. That was the best match of the night. That was a great match. I've said this before, I believe, in my last video about wrestling. John Cena, ever since he's become the United States champion, has been putting on great matches, which is crazy because great matches and John Cena just don't go. They don't go together very well. Everyone knows the 5 minutes of blah blah blah. I'm giving so much credit to John Cena for having such a great match, like after match after match after match for the past couple of weeks because of the whole Open Challenge and obviously having a great match last night against Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens pulled out every little damn trick in the book. If you've ever watched him in Ring of Honor or PWG or whatever, and he's pulled out every single freaking move. He did a flip moonsault where he was like, and it was so like perfect, like it was fluid. Like he just second rope, he jumped to the third rope and then flipped. immediately. He missed the move because he seemed to roll out the way, but it was just the execution and the timing was just like so good. Um, he did a package pile driver. Well, it was a package like side power bomb slam thing. It wasn't a package pile driver, but it was a tease towards package pile driver. That was one of his big signature moves in the indie scene. Um, he did like a brainbuster, spinning brainbuster off the top rope. He did a swanton bomb or senton bomb. Sorry, I don't want to say swanton, but whatever. He did a swanton bomb. Hey, it was awesome. Kevin Owens is amazing. For him being a bigger guy, he doesn't have the look of a WWE wrestler that Vince likes to see. But he's amazing. That's why I love Kevin Owens so much. He doesn't have the look, but he sure as hell can pull a moveset out of his ass that's better than most people's, because he's a hard worker and he's awesome. He and Cena, like I said, Cena was pulling out some cool moves. Cena was, did the stunner, springboard stunners. He was doing his normal shtick, but it was pretty awesome. That it was like I said, it was a really good fluid match. Like these guys seem like they have really good chemistry in the ring, and I can't wait for Money in the Bank because they've already announced it that they're gonna have a rematch at Money in the Bank. So can't wait to see that. Kevin Owens did win cleanly. It took two pop up power bombs to put Cena down, but it was pretty cool. Kevin Owens did hit Cena with an attitude adjustment. He picked him up and he was like this, and he hit him. And it was pretty awesome. Um, let's say I definitely enjoyed it. Definitely a good match. Definitely the match of the night for sure. Next match was Neville versus Bo Dallas. It was it was an okay match for what it's worth. It was alright. It wasn't bad. Obviously they've had better matches down in NXT. Like I said, NXT's has been all over this thing. You get Paige, Xavier Woods, Kevin Owens, Neville, Bo Dallas is all over. NXT's taking over, man. Um, Neville did win, obviously, Red Arrow, one of the best moves ever to see. Next was the Intercontinental Championship Elimination Chamber match. Started off, Truth eliminated Barrett, and I was like, I'm really just sick of them throwing Barrett around. I'm not saying that he should have won, per se, but being the first eliminated and you're supposed to be the king of the ring, and usually when I think king of the ring, I'm very old school. It usually is something that elevates you to the next level, and this just isn't doing it for him. Like when I think of king of the ring, I think of Bret Hart, I think Stone Cold Steve Austin, I think Triple H. They all became world champions and got to the main event scene afterwards, or at least the Intercontinental title, for a while. Like with Triple H, he became Intercontinental champion for a while. Then he eventually went to the main event. It just sucks seeing Barrett just do nothing. He's like stuck in like this limbo, even though he is king of the ring. But like I don't know what they're gonna do with him. I don't know. But next up was Ryback eliminating Truth, and then Sheamus. Sheamus was stuck in his pod for a while, but he was actually tricking on everyone. Oh, by the way, Mark Henry was in this match instead of Rusev because Rusev with his broken ankle. I forgot to say that, but I'm sure a lot of people knew that. Sheamus eliminated Mark Henry. He eventually came out because after everyone was beating each other up because he's like, I can't get out of my pod. I'm stuck in the pod. But he put his Celtic cross thing. He jammed it into the chamber door like a lock, so he like locked himself in there somehow. I don't know. It was stupid, but it worked for him. He also eventually eliminated Ziggler via Brogue Kick. So there's now a Ryback and Sheamus. So finally, there's going to be a new Intercontinental champion, both new, obviously, but as in new, like they've never had it before. Ryback did win, so shout out and congrats to Ryback. I think he deserved it. I'm okay with it. I was okay with it. It just probably means that he's going to lose to Bray Wyatt. That's my assumption because Bray Wyatt did pin him last before, so he might get a shot at that. So then might see them at Money in the Bank or SummerSlam probably. That'd be pretty sweet. But yeah, I think Ryback deserves it. It's good to see him with the title around his waist. He's been up and down these last couple of years. He became popular, but it was just wrong timing because CM Punk. Then he fell down. He became a heel, and that just didn't work out very well. It was kind of stupid, but he did have good matches with Cena. And then he came back. They just resurged him as a good guy, the ultimate, like how he used to be, feed me more, all that crap, and it's working. So I'm glad that it's going the right way. Next match was the last match. Obviously, there's only 6 matches, which is pretty crazy. Usually like 8 or 9, but it was 6 matches. But I guess because Elimination Chamber, they're longer matches, like 40 minutes long. last but not least was Dean Ambrose versus Seth Rollins. It was a great match. I enjoyed it. For what it's worth, Dean Ambrose obviously had a fight, not just Rollins, but the Authority, because Kane was out there with J&J. Roman Reigns was not allowed to go out there, which was stupid, but obviously it's Authority being the Authority. Actually, before the match started, before that segment started, there was two segments. In the pre-show, there was a segment where Roman Reigns was talking about, I'll be out there in your corner, and I'll bring the beers and blah, 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 blah. But how it sounded and how it was just like, Roman Reigns is going to turn on Ambrose and join the Authority or something. It screamed it, just how they acted in the segment. And I guess they squashed it because people caught on to it. Maybe they stopped it, like, all right, because later on in the actual show, you're not allowed to go out there. So I'm assuming that was why they did that, is because people were buzzing on Twitter and on Facebook, on WWE memes page. Shout to them, they're awesome. That he's going to turn heel tonight. He's going to turn heel tonight. Because I posted that too. I think he's going to turn heel tonight. Don't be surprised if he does. He didn't, obviously, because he wasn't out there. Dean Ambrose technically won the WWE World Heavyweight Championship last night. I was screaming for joy. I was happy. I love Seth Rollins to death, but it was just a cool moment. And then the referee reversed the decision. A second referee came out, and then they reversed the decision because how he won. Dean Ambrose on top of the rope. He tried to hit Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins grabbed the ref, threw him in the way. This is where I think it was kind of stupid finish because Seth Rollins, because he did that, Dean Ambrose won via disqualification, and Seth Rollins retained the belt. I thought that was stupid because there's been, and I'm going to reference the Attitude Era for a little while here because that's obviously what we always do. So many times back in the day, even after the Attitude Era, where you'd grab a ref and throw them in the way, and they would just get knocked out, and then they'd come back too, and just keep continuing. The fact that they let this be, it's a disqualification now, is stupid because it's not consistent. You're not bringing consistency, guys. It's kind of annoying. How many times did Earl Hebner back and they get hit and get back up and hit back? Like, what? Or something. Or Mike Chioda just getting hit and he gets back up and just finishes the match. It was pretty dumb. I would have been okay with Dean Ambrose winning the belt, obviously, and then eventually lose it. It doesn't have to be a super long reign. It could have been a short reign, but just that moment, like I said before at the beginning, the Corpus Christi arena was pretty dry for the most part. And when Dean Ambrose won, they exploded. It was awesome. It was probably the best moment in the arena. That was the loudest reaction I've ever heard, actually. But then they reversed it and it turned to boos. You gave them one good moment and you take it from them. I would have just let him win, go out there, and then lose it eventually. It doesn't have to be a long reign. I'm not a fan of hot potato with the belt, the title, the championship at all. I think it's stupid to do that. Back in the day, I have the belt for 8 days and I fucking lose it next week, and then he has it for a month and he loses it. But I would have been okay with this moment. He could have lost it eventually, a couple weeks from now at Money in the Bank, and then he can get it back at SummerSlam or something. It would have been cool. It would have been fun to see these two guys Rollins and Ambrose chase after each other for the belt, because that's what they're there for. They've proven that already. But that's neither here nor there. I'm sure that they'll think of something, and I'm sure Ambrose will eventually become the champion because I guess that was a tease and a test to see if he's ready. And obviously, if you take a dry crowd like that, a boring crowd like that, and they explode and blow up when Ambrose comes out, when Ambrose won, and when Ambrose stole the belt, which, by the way, that's what he did at the end. He actually knocked out everyone. Roman Reigns actually did come out. Superman punched Rollins. They he speared Kane and blah, blah, blah. And Ambrose and Reigns left into the arena, into the universe with the title, and the crowd erupted again. So, like I said, maybe it was a teaser, a test to see if the universe is ready. And if you take a dry arena like that and you blow them up with Ambrose, then Ambrose is obviously more than ready to become the champion and the face of the company, in my opinion. Despite him being crazy, but whatever. That's what makes him awesome, though, obviously. But that's pretty much it, episode. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys enjoyed my little rant at the end. If you did, leave a like. And if you're new around these parts, please be so kind to that subscribe button. And as always, if there's ever a problem way, just hashtag erase some peace.